Hello everybody, this is Rogue K here, doing my third album review so far. This time I'll be doing Back to Bedlam by James Blunt. Now, this album came out in 2005. This is the re-released version, not the original one that came out in the UK. So I would have been 6 when this came out. Now at the time I wasn't really interested in music like I am today, so I didn't really pay much attention to it. But years later, in late 2015, I discovered many of his songs, but I didn't really catch on until maybe 4 or 5 months ago. Since then, I've been listening to songs all the time. Well, almost all of them. Get to that later, though. Now, Back to Bedlam is the debut album of UK singer James Blunt. And it started out pretty good, but it didn't really break through until the success of the single You're Beautiful. But the re-released version, though, did fairly well for itself. It made it to #1 in 16 countries, including the US and the UK, and top 10 in 7 other countries as well. And heck, it even made #1 in 2 Decade charts. I mean, #1 in 2 Decade charts. It was #1 in the Irish and British in Decade charts. That's pretty impressive, if I say so myself. We certified platinum in 18 different countries over its release, including 14 times platinum, 11 times platinum in the UK and Ireland, respectively, and even diamond in France. Anyways, to the songs. Now, the first song of the album is one of my favorites, personally, called High. I think it's a very good song. It was his debut single. It didn't fare too well at first. It made it 148 in the charts, which is in the UK charts, which is, I guess, it's not bad for a debut single. And then, after You're Beautiful came out, it was re-released, and then made it all the way to top number 16, which would become his third top 20 hit. Although at the time, still third, I guess, in order. But this is the first single. Anyways, this is also the second single in the U.S. after You're Beautiful, where it debuted and peaked at number 100. The only song that I know of that has done that. I know there are more, but the only one that I know of that has done that debuted, peaked at number 100. Makes me happy. Anyways, almost everywhere it went, it was top 40 in 7 countries. And on this album, it's probably one of my top favorite tracks, if not my favorite. Moving on to the second song, which of course everybody knows, You're Beautiful. Now, if you didn't hear this song anywhere from 2005 2006, you were obviously hiding under a rock. This is, it's going by the charts, one of the best songs of the year. It was nominated for 3 Grammy Awards. It reached #1, let's see, how many countries was it again? Oh yes, 10 countries. That's pretty impressive, at least I think so. And reached the top 10 in 9 others. It reached top 40 everywhere it went, except for Spain, where it stalled at number 43, which is still pretty close to top 40. And that song has been certified platinum in 8 different countries. That's also pretty impressive, I think so. Anywho, another thing is that's easily the most recognizable song of his. It's also his only top 40 hit in the US, which is kind of sad in my opinion, because I think he has a lot of songs that should have and could have made it to top 40. But that's just music today. I think it's going downhill, but that's just me. The next song on the list is the second single in the UK, Wisemen. I also like this song as well. But it was pretty successful. Honestly, before You're Beautiful came out, this is probably the most successful song he had. It made the top 50 in the UK charts, peaking at 44, and the re-release saw a peak at 23 after You're Beautiful came out. It reached #1 in Belgium and the Czech Republic, which is another impressive feat, because he had his 2 #1 singles. Not in a row, but hey, it worked for me. Alright, it reached the top 40 in 15 countries. Sadly, though, it was not released in the US, but to be honest, it probably wouldn't have gotten very far. This isn't the kind of things that's radio friendly in the US. Probably wouldn't have caught on very well. But I don't know. Who knows? Alright, the fourth song on the album, and the third single in the US, and the fourth single in the UK, is my second favorite from the album, Goodbye My Lover. Now, I just love sitting back and just trying to copy James Blunt's voice in this song. I think it's very soulful and beautiful. That's just me. But it was probably the second best single, or chart-wise most successful single out of all the songs in the album. It made it to number 66, I'm thinking, on the the Billboard 100, making his third song to chart there. Out of 5, only on this album, 3 out of 3. But he only had 5 career ones so far. Those different albums. Anywho, back to this. Well, it reached number 1 in Sweden, which is pretty cool. I think so. I like Sweden. A lot of bands come out of there. So another album review, another day. And it was top 40 hit in 14 countries. Very, very good. Alright, now the fifth song, the first non-single on this album, is Tears in Rain. Now this song, I find interesting. I think it's very catchy and very unique. Just the way that it was written and the way it goes. I love singing to it. I play it all the time trying to imitate his voice and imitate I guess you could say, a rhyme scheme to it. It's not very easy though. Moving on to the sixth song, and my personal favorite, Out of My Mind. Now, I think there should have been a single, but even with that, it probably wouldn't have gotten very far, because it takes the opinion of one person. I won't say man, I'm not quite that far yet, but one person just to get a song that's popular. Although every person helps though. But it's easily my favorite. It just feels like when I listen to it, I feel like I need to repent for something that I've done wrong, and I feel very vulnerable listening to the song. If that makes sense to anybody out there listening, I don't know. It's just how it makes me feel. I think it's pretty good. All right, the next song is "So Long, Jimmy." Now, this song is kind of for me. I don't dislike it, but I wouldn't really put it in my top 10s of anything. It's kind of there. I'll listen to it. I don't listen to enough to memorize the words, so it's just And then the eighth song, another one of my favorites, is Billy. Now I'm not really sure who Billy is in the song or why it's like this, but I just find it so darn catchy. Don't know why, don't know how, but I'm not gonna complain. I think it's a great song. Billy's leaving today. Don't know where he's going. Alright, anywho, let's go to the ninth song, and probably if I had to choose, my least favorite song on the album, Cry. It isn't that it's a bad song. It doesn't really connect to me in any way. I don't find it very catchy. It's just kinda, not much to really say about it. I almost hit subpar. It's just not like the other songs. Alright, the 10th and final song, No Bravery, and technically also the last single from the album overall. It was released only in France, where it charted and peaked at number 15 on the SNEP charts, which is the French charts, for those who don't know. I think personally, the song is the most, if it's a word, I guess, soulful. You can tell I put a lot of emotion into it. And then this song was written back when he was still in the military, so it definitely has some feeling to it. But hey, that's just me. I like mixing facts and my own opinion on this stuff. Well, I know it's not maybe be the best album review ever. Got a lot to learn still. I'm trying. I'm enjoying myself. Anywho, though, overall, out of his 4 albums, this is probably the most popular one out of them. It's kind of like a breakthrough, I guess. A lot of people, when they get a breakthrough, they kind of fade away. And while in the U.S. that is the case, sadly, he's not really known anymore. In the U.K. he's still going strong, getting top 10 hits with every album. And I hope that one day he's popular back in the U.S. again. I'll listen to his music. And I think it's gonna be all here today. Notes, fun times, research. Alright, everybody, thank you for watching. It's Rogue K out.